The number one role of a government is to protect and ensure the safety and well-being of its citizens. We see the Prime Minister telling people to install panic buttons. Even the Stand Your Ground legislation places the burden of protection on citizens. This administration does not seem to understand that their role is actually to make burglar proofing superfluous, unneeded, unnecessary. Where is the Minister of Justice? The state of emergency was called to deal with some drama we talk here in prisons and whatnot. Prison keeps coming up. Yet we've not heard from the Minister of Justice. In case you guys forgot, and I mean, I understand that because the whole split with Homeland and Defense and Justice and whatnot, that we may not understand who is who. But the Minister of Justice is actually the person in charge of the prisons, all the problems in the prisons. And you know what? The criminal justice system is a major part of any government's crime plan. That's a major part. We have young men going into prison and coming out worse than they went in because we have poor rehabilitation programs. We have young men going into prison, sitting, waiting for 10 years on their day in court. And if they were found guilty, do you know what? The maximum sentence for whatever they went in for would be a year, 2 years, 5 years maximum. But they're sitting for 10 years, waiting on their day in court. That is the role of the Minister of Justice. Yet we can't hear from him. We don't see him. He's not around in the middle of a state of emergency that has to deal with prisons. We're hearing about prison this and prison that, and we cannot hear or see from the Minister of Justice. I want to talk a little bit as well about Roger Alexander's story this morning, where, well, I got it this morning. I'm not on his Facebook, so I'm really hoping it's fake news. But he has spoken before about not asking for a crime plan. And the real crime plan is citizens asking their family to stop murdering, stop shooting. And if you know your family member going on a crime spree, call the police on them. That's his big crime plan. I want to remind again, maybe between the ministers, they don't quite understand their portfolio. But the detection rate that is currently abysmal, that falls under Homeland Security. So Roger Alexander, you need to be telling the country, what are you going to do to improve the detection rate? Detection is a natural deterrent. If I know I am going to be caught, I'll think twice. If I'm guaranteed to get away, then I'd be empowered to commit murders, to commit violent home invasions. We have in Trinidad and Tobago cases where video footage is there. The video footage goes viral. And then the perpetrators get off. Because we have brilliant criminal lawyers that end up in government. But anyway, it's a short video today. I don't need 10 minutes to talk about the UNC getting their act together. You knew the country was in a mess. We need you to stop blaming the PNM because we knew PNM was a problem. We knew the country was in a mess. We knew that you had a lot of work to do. And you said you were ready to hit the ground running. It's been 100 days and we're still hearing blame. And we're not really hearing any significant plans. And as I've said, the Minister of Justice, who is a critical component to your crime-fighting plan, he's literally missing in action. Trinidad and Tobago, you guys need to stand up and speak out. You have to speak out.